Here's your wrestling news for August 16th, 2021. And your headlines for today include: Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair miss second WWE live event due to unforeseen circumstances. Big E approaches the ring by wearing just a towel at WWE live event. Big spoiler on Jon Moxley's AEW All Out match. AEW Nixed Kenny Omega title change at TripleMania. CM Punk drops All Elite reference while commentating MMA event. Backstage news on Ric Flair's AAA appearance, when Flair can appear on AEW TV. Charlotte Flair was backstage at AAA TripleMania. Is WWE planning Big E and Goldberg segment on WWE RAW? Aliyah makes her WWE RAW debut. Triple H and Shawn Michaels were unaware of WWE NXT releases, and more. We are starting today with WWE, who last week hosted a live event in Charlotte, North Carolina that neither Sasha Banks nor SmackDown Women's Champion Bianca Belair attended. Both had been advertised for the show, but were pulled for unforeseen circumstances, and that's becoming a worrying trend for both champion and challenger. At WWE's most recent live event in Columbus, South Carolina, both women were pulled again for unforeseen circumstances, disappointing the crowd in attendance. There's no details on why the pair are missing, but their title match this Saturday at SummerSlam is now in serious jeopardy. We can only hope whatever's caused them to miss two live events in a row has been resolved by then, and we'll hopefully learn more on this Friday's SmackDown. We mentioned that neither Banks nor Belair were at the show in Charlotte, North Carolina, but they weren't the only big absences. Before the show, WWE advertised Charlotte Flair to appear in her hometown, but not only did she not appear, but there were never plans for her to be in attendance. During Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer noted that Charlotte had requested time off weeks ago, and WWE approved her request but didn't change their advertising. We're sure that Charlotte will be back soon, and she's expected to be on tonight's Raw to build to this Saturday's Raw Women's Title Triple Threat match, but she didn't make it to the Charlotte, North Carolina show, despite WWE's promise to the fans. More from the Columbus show, as even without the Boss or Belair, they had a great time, including a brief reunion by The New Day. On the show, Seth Rollins defeated Big E, but the latter stuck around to introduce Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods, who had a match against Bobby Lashley and MVP, while Big E headed to the back for a shower. We know that Big E had a shower because he returned near the end of the match wearing a towel, and this bit was a huge hit with the fans who enjoyed the extra entertainment. Big E kept a tight hold on that towel as he didn't want to give the fans a very un-PG moment, and there's always the possibility that Mr. Money in the Bank will be confronting Bobby Lashley once more very soon. AEW news next, as Jon Moxley has made a huge impact in the company, and he's expected to be in a huge match at September 5th's All Out pay-per-view. Recently, Moxley lost the IWGP United States title to Lance Archer, who dropped the title to Hiroshi Tanahashi at last Saturday's New Japan Resurgence event, and it didn't take long for the new champ to find his challenger. Moxley, who'd competed in a tag team match earlier in the show, stuck around in the crowd to watch the US title match, and has previously said that Tanahashi is dodging a match with him. During Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer noted that an IWGP US title match is expected for All Out, and we'll see Tanahashi and Moxley finally collide in the ring. Calling it Moxley's dream match, and one that the former Dean Ambrose asked Tony Khan to make happen, and unless something unforeseen happens, Moxley will get his wish and a title shot on September 5th. All Out 2021 will be headlined by AEW World Champion Kenny Omega defending his title against Christian Cage, the same man who defeated Omega for the Impact World Championship on Rampage. Last week didn't go as Omega had hoped, but he at least left AAA's TripleMania with the Mega Championship, though that wasn't the original plan. According to Dave Meltzer, who spoke on Wrestling Observer Radio, Omega was originally set to drop the title to Andrade El Idolo, but AEW stepped in and nixed those plans. Their reasoning was that they control Omega's outside bookings and didn't want him to lose after just losing the Impact World title the night before. It's likely that Andrade and Omega will square off for the title once again down the line, and their match could have a very different outcome next time around. As to when that match will be is anyone's guess, but for now, the belt collector remains AAA Mega Champion for the time being. More from AEW, as this Friday's Rampage will reportedly mark the debut of CM Punk, or at least that's according to several reports and speculation. AEW haven't referred to Punk by name on television, though Darby Allin recently called out the best in the world, and now the former WWE champion is returning fire with some teasing of his own. During last night's CFFC MMA event, which Punk was commentating, his announcing partner John Morgan said that fighter Lucas Hoffman was returning to his wrestling background, making sure to emphasize the phrase, "returning to wrestling." In response, Punk said that Hoffman was looking all elite, a line AEW used when they announced the signing of a new wrestler, and later said that you've got to watch out for all these inside jokes. Punk didn't reference AEW by name, but it's clear what he meant based on his follow-up line, and we'll have to see if the best in the world is all elite himself later this week. Earlier this month, Ric Flair chose to leave WWE, citing that conflict with creative over his and his daughter's booking caused him to request his release. Mere days after his departure, Flair appeared at TripleMania 29, being in the corner of his future son-in-law Andrade El Idolo, and we now know more about his shocking appearance. Wrestling Inc. reports that Flair did the show at no charge to the company, and it in fact cost the Nature Boy to be there, as he chartered a private jet to make the show on his own dime. It's also now known that Flair left WWE without a non-compete clause, which explains why he was able to appear for AAA so suddenly. It's been reported that Flair is looking to join Andrade on a full-time basis in AEW as soon as he can, and without a non-compete clause, that may be sooner than anyone expected. Ric Flair was a surprising name to be at AAA's TripleMania event, but he wasn't the only Flair at the show. Thanks to a photo shared by Conan, we can see that Charlotte Flair was there too, no doubt rooting for her fiancé, who lost to AAA Mega Champion Kenny Omega. This show is why Charlotte missed the Charlotte, North Carolina live event, as she wouldn't have been able to be at both and didn't want to miss her fiancé in action against Omega. Of course, Charlotte didn't appear on the show, as that would have been in violation of her WWE contract, but she was able to make the trip to Mexico City with her father there as well. Over to Raw, and tonight's show will be the go-home edition of the Red Brand before SummerSlam, and the last chance for fans to see Goldberg and Bobby Lashley come face-to-face before their WWE Championship match. Goldberg has his share of detractors, but one person vocal in their love for him is Big E, who could show up on tonight's Raw. As Mr. Money in the Bank, Big E could cash in for the WWE Championship, and it'd be fitting for him to cash in on his idol, if a Goldberg title win is indeed the plan for SummerSlam. At WWE's live event in Columbus, Big E confronted the almighty WWE Champion, teasing a possible cash-in on Lashley, which may be difficult considering his briefcase has been stolen by Baron Corbin. Of course, this segment could be a complete swerve, as Big E has previously said that he plans on being the man who topples Roman Reigns, but an appearance by Mr. Money in the Bank tonight could add some much-needed excitement to this Saturday's WWE Championship bout. More from Raw, as Aliyah was traded to the Red Brand last month for Mandy Rose, but she's yet to compete on WWE's flagship show. That could very well change tonight, especially if WWE wants to give fans a glimpse as to what's next for the women's roster post-SummerSlam. Perhaps Tamina Snuka could recruit Aliyah to replace the injured Natalya, and the idea of Aliyah becoming a women's champion even before her first main roster match could sow the seeds for a future feud with the Queen of Hearts. At 24 years old, Aliyah has a long future in the wrestling world ahead of her, and WWE could start a long and illustrious main roster run for her tonight. Last week, 13 releases from NXT came as a huge blow to the Gold Brand, and a sign that Triple H is losing control of the show. It's been previously reported that the game wasn't consulted in regards to the releases, and he wasn't the only big name of the Gold Brand kept in the dark. In the Wrestling Observer newsletter, Dave Meltzer reports that the game's second-in-command in NXT had no say over what happened last week, reporting, "Those in NXT said not only did Paul Levesque, who runs NXT, nor Shawn Michaels have a say in the cuts, but they weren't even aware of them until after Laurinaitis started calling the talent." In November 2018, Michaels was announced as a writer and producer in NXT, and has worked closely alongside his best friend ever since. But even the two-time WWE Hall of Famer doesn't factor into Vince McMahon's vision for the brand. More from AEW as last week, Christian Cage became the new Impact World Champion, dethroning Kenny Omega in a result few fans saw coming. One man who knows all about being Impact World Champion is Kurt Angle, who, on his show, had plenty of praise for Captain Charisma, saying, "Christian is one of the most underrated professional wrestlers of all time. This guy should actually already be in the Hall of Fame. That's how good he was, and I don't know, maybe someday he will be. I just think he's been underappreciated." Christian could soon be adding the AEW World Championship to his collection, as he'll face Omega for the gold at All Out, and win, lose, or draw, Captain Charisma has the respect of Kurt Angle and countless fans. And we're ending today with Gable Steveson, the Olympic gold medalist WWE had their eye on before his big win in Tokyo, and who will be in attendance at SummerSlam this weekend. Gable gave a tremendous performance in the 125-kilogram weight class, but despite WWE's hopes of working with him, Steveson may not join the wrestling world at all. On MMA Junkie, Bellator CEO Scott Coker confirmed that his organization is in talks with Gable and said the Olympic gold medalist is eager to wrestle for them. Pro wrestling and MMA aren't Steveson's only options, as he's also teased joining the NFL. And it'll be interesting to see where the Olympian goes next after his impressive win earlier this month. Well guys, that's our news for today. Please share your comments below. Also hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon to receive all notifications. And as always, thanks for watching.